gotta leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Bundy, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up. Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien, boy, from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her era lore. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the blockchain. Now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like the Brown James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Reviews not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum NFTs. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out to
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Breaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits, yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, miny, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. I had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeChain, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining us. Already done so. Do us a favor, drop us a GM in the chat down below, then head up top, smash that like, repost, and bookmark on today's space. We greatly appreciate it. It does warm up the algo and does us real solid. Also up top, you'll find the link to the abstract chat. We're on my abstract today, and YouTube is also up top. We're on my X video feed. And as always, I'm Cap, joined by my co-host Steve. Nerdy financial advice in the show. Crypto is risky, NFTs are risky, meme coins except for risky. Go to 0 to 1 stones. Please don't put any money you can't afford to lose. Another Steve and I hold tokens. We'll talk about from time to time here on the show, including Pingu, which is cooking. I don't even know if it's cooking. I didn't even look at the chart, but they are freaking cooking. They are onboarding the masses. We'll talk about that here in a bit. But before we get ahead of ourselves, GM Steve, how you doing? The opening bit of the show is Steve has better internet in the woods than he does at home, so we are riding today. GM, sir, how you doing?
GM, doing well. Think we have the internet sitch fixed in the next couple of weeks, which is good. The internet people have they have aggressively not told me that there was a box out front. Actually, people who pay very close attention to the show will know. I'd mentioned if a squirrel pees on a box outside my house, it will make the internet go out. Well, I asked if I could build something around it. The answer was no. I couldn't do anything for the city. Like, the internet people are like, it's not our fault. There's nothing here. They actually sent out a tech who really seemed to care. And he's like, yeah, it's definitely the stuff out there. And I'm like, if only we had suggested that months ago when we first had the problem when the construction was going on out there. So that's going to be fixed. But yes, better internet in the woods right now. So looking forward to that. And Cap, I'll hit you with another one. Look, I know we don't like to date ourselves on this show. We're a little old. People give us that. I am old enough to remember when Texas was the #1 team in the country, though. I am old enough. I will tell you. I do remember it. Like, back in my day.
Arch is not him, but Lenore Sellers might be.
Dude,
Not knocking Sayan. Sayan's fine. He's going to be a game manager. Buckeyes are going to go to the playoffs, win another national title. Sayan's going to be just fine. But if I had to pick a number one draft pick in a future NFL draft, I'm going Sellers over Arch at this moment.
Yeah, he's been hyped. He's been hyped quite a bit.
Did you see his highlights from yesterday?
I watched the highlights, but he's somebody he was the guy that people play as South Carolina in NCAA specifically to use him. Like he's that guy.
He's slippery. He's a Jaden Daniels slippery. He's tiny though, isn't he? He looks small.
Yeah, he's not big. I believe. I'm not positive, but he's not big. He was heavy recruit. No, look. I think Arch is going to be fine. I think Sane's going to be fine. I think actually
a lot of good Arch memes.
Oh, dude, so many good Arch memes. So many inappropriate ones. But I mean,
like the one that got me was
I sent Bunchy one that was really not cool that I would not share publicly. So maybe I'll send it to you as well. But it was a good one.
There was one with him throwing like sidearm and it cut to Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. Like, oh my God, this clip is going to cost him maybe $100 million. Like he does not look like an NFL quarterback out there.
I mean, as a guy,
give credit where credit's due. The defense was swarming. Tough spot to be in your first road start ever at the shoe. So like, he's going to be fine. But yeah, he did not look ready.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's almost as if the reigning national.
I'm not even like he cost them that game pretty much. I mean, Ohio State, who knows? They could have come up. They would have played differently had Texas been in the game. It was just not even. It was not as close as the final score indicated. Ohio State just dominated that game, and he missed a lot of throws. Like,
at no point was I worried. I'll put it that way. Like, I mean, it was crazy early on, a couple plays, but I mean, I've gone in less than a year thinking like Ryan Day, like. Can't trust him in situations like this, yada, 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 to, he doesn't beat Michigan, doesn't win in the playoff, to that game plan with the new offensive coordinator and new offensive defensive and new defensive coordinator was about as well as you can execute. He wanted to muck up the game. He mucked up the game. It worked exactly as planned. He knew he had the advantage at home. Crowd was bumping in the shoe. Shout out the kids. They're not spoiled anymore, coming out quiet. And
my daughter took in her first college football Saturday. Sorry to interrupt. Unrelated. I mean, it's related. Not Ohio State. She went up to Tallahassee for the Florida State game. And I mean, what a first game to go to FSU and they knock off Alabama. I mean, it does get bigger than that, but pretty epic first opening game. And she came back safe and sound and was a little bit of a dad moment on Saturday while she's at her first college football game amongst the rowdy, drunken Bama fans. Verizon basically goes out. It said nationally, but it was effective mostly in the Southeast. Like, multiple hours on Saturday, we had no wireless service. I'm like, great, that's optimal timing for my daughter to be around, a few 100,000 people with no cell service. But
as well, it ends well. No, another great one. It was it's a bet I had. I'm not high on Bama this season. I'm not high on Kellen DeVore. Actually, I heard someone.
My Billy picks. I went 5-0 with Billy. Billy took FSU. I just wrote it. They were like plus 550. I should have. What I should have done. I messed up because I didn't head over to Clutch Market and do a parlay all my picks because. Literally,
you money line.
Missed last. I took the over on the Ohio State Texas game. That missed big. That was 100% on me. All the Billy picks I took went 5-0. Billy's running as good as Lee Corso, Steve.
Yeah, Lee Corso. Every team he coached at won. He got the headgear correct again. No, man. FSU. I'm not that high on FSU, but I'm very low on Kellen DeVore in Alabama. I think I heard. I can't remember who.
Coach has Bama's number.
Yeah. Well. I don't think that I'm trying to remember who it was that said it, but somebody was like, Kellen or DeBoer's not a Bama coach. He's just not. Like, and there's certain things that make certain types of coaches in certain big schools, and DeBoer's just not a Bama coach. And yeah, I'm not a big Bama believer this year. Wasn't a big Bama believer last year, and I was correct there. And so anyway, yeah, good weekend for Billy. Good weekend for Buckeyes. Man. I will say it is funny watching some of the national media walk it back where they're like, oh, it's still early. We're still good. It's like, y'all put Texas number one in the offseason. Y'all didn't put the reigning national title champions, bring the best player in offense, best player on defense back, playing them at home in game number one. Didn't even make us number two. So don't walk it back. Say it with your chest. Arch Manning did not play well. Julian Sane managed the game. He was fine. Like, he did what he was told to do. Like, I think Sane's going to have some big games with those receivers coming up in the next few weeks. But I think the way he managed it the way I managed an NCAA season, which is the big games come up, you muck it up, you run the clock, you win the game. You're playing on Heisman, they're tough. And then when you play the Gramblings of the world and the Bowling Greens, you run up 600 yards of passing or something. So expect a couple 100, 200, 300 yard game for him coming up next week. But they live large now. They win the game. They did the thing. There's one stat that matters in all of sports, and it is win and loss. So, but I know we have 108 to give away today still. Give us a like, a retweet, a comment on the room. We're going to be giving away that.
Back and see who won, who was closest. I don't know if no one went that low. So we gotta find whoever probably had the lowest guess on Friday wins.
Yeah, I think I was out of the running, not just because I am here, but also I think OSU 1 billion to 0. We hit a little bit lower on that. So, but no, it's yeah, good weekend. Generally speaking, though, markets, as we kind of get into that stuff, a lot of chop.
I truly, like, I kid you not, like I'm here on the weekends. I'm normally like chronically online, and I just get bored because we don't have our show every morning. This weekend I was like, I didn't even look at charts since Friday, and I peeked this morning, and it felt like we were in the exact same spot. So Chop sums it up, huh? Good.
Yeah, I mean,
I just said, F it, we ride.
Yeah, I left my LPs open. They didn't really do much at all. Fees are going down because there's not as much volume going on them, especially on Project X right now. Meteora, chop back and forth. It's funny. I have a Meteora pool that has basically slid all the way to Sol and all the way to USDC back and forth. So it's been a beautiful ride on that one. But yeah, it's been chop, and I think that we are just in this holding pattern right now. We'll have more, on some October data and what to expect in September and October and how Bitcoin's historically performed. We'll talk about that a little bit. We'll obviously do a daily market update. As always, give us a like, a retweet, a comment on the room, though. We do have 108 to give away today. In about 20 minutes, we'll do that secret code to let people know. I got to jump out of here a little bit early. Cap might need to jump out early, so we got an interview coming up. But I do want to kick it off, Cap. I will. I'm going to make sure I get everything in order here
before we get out quote open. I got 3 minutes left. I gave myself a black eye. Can you tell the blue light in the lamp light?
Honestly, you couldn't tell on the opening. I had forgotten about it. I did see the pictures this weekend you sent, which were really a nice little welt. So give us the. Like you said, we got 3 minutes left in cold open. How'd you fire that off? I don't think you gave us clarification on how the black eye occurred. You were
so I've been moving or in the process of moving, and I don't do anything half speed. So I just go too fast sometimes, and I have like a rack, like basically think of like a clothes rack for drying clothes, but it folds up, and I don't know, it's taller than me, and I folded it up, and I like needed to move it. I'm lifting a bar up, and it was like stuck, and I rip it, and I just go whoosh, and it whacks me in the face really hard. And as soon as it hit, I was like seeing it, I'm like, fuck. I was like, I literally felt like time, but I was like, that is gonna leave a mark like right here. And sure enough, I look, and it's like wadded up like I had a golf ball under my skin for a minute.
It is crazy when you have those moments and you're like, immediately when it happens.
I was like, oh shit, that is gonna leave a mark.
Yeah, immediately when it happens, you're like, okay, got it. It's coming. Like when you start getting that welt or whatever. So yeah, no, it's
by the way, last day in this setup. Who knows what the background looks like tomorrow? You can actually kind of see some of the hole walls. I've done my duty here. I've got all holes patched. I could do light paint job today, and it's excited for the next adventure. Had another epic pool day yesterday, and we continue to level up on that front. Steve, I kid you not, like I'm doing my best to like scare her off. And I was like, last Sunday, this is yesterday, I'm saying is last Sunday without NFL football. And just so you know, I like pre-warning you, historically, I watch 7+ hours of uninterrupted football on Sundays, plus the Sunday night football game with, a light 4 figures on the line of action every Sunday. She immediately looks, she's like, good thing I like football. I mean,
why isn't she married? So who maybe dropped the ball on that one? No, man, it's a good stuff. I love hearing it. Love seeing you happy too. I love seeing this moment.
I'm having a good time. Although I'm not getting any sleep. I'm not complaining, but as you know, my geriatric sleep schedule, I've been hanging out with the kids. I haven't done, I said in the word, unprecedented in my adult life. Adult being like, I don't know, probably 37 plus is when I finally grew up. I've not stayed up back-to-back weekends, like to the point I could have closed down a bar. It wasn't at a bar, but it was like back-to-back 3 a.m. and 2 a.m. nights. And little dragging this morning. So, and I have a full day of like heavy lifting and moving shit, like all the heavy shit I still have to move. So, yeah, running a little bit on fumes here, but not complaining.
Yeah, I'm gonna get home and take my dogs for a walk and take a nap because I have been up until the thing about like a woods like a woods weekend, it's awesome, but it's like you basically spend the day kayaking, fishing, hiking, all that good stuff, and then at night you stay up by a campfire until like 1 a.m. doing s'mores and burgers and hot dogs and stuff. So it's been good. We actually did same families that we went to Hilton Head with last year. We right after Hilton Head, everyone's like that I'm like, I think that went well, and they got back to us. Everyone's like, yeah, I think that went well. And then one of the people suggested we do a little camping trip this weekend, and we did. And I don't know, kids are old enough that they're like, 13, like, 11, 13, sort of those ages. So they can kind of run around a little bit on their own and kind of get into some trouble on their own. So at one point we were all at the campfire and the adults were just chilling. And then just a swarm. It must have been what it was like to be sacked by the Vikings back in the day. When they would show up in random Canadian towns, because the kids just came running down, making all sorts of different noises to the campfire, ready to make s'mores. It was like dark, and I'm like, what's going on here? So good stuff. But Cap, let's one more time do us a favor, like, retweet, comment on the room. Cap has assured me I have been also largely unplugged from the market this weekend. Caught 3 fish yesterday when nobody else caught any fish. So not to brag, but a little bit of a fisherman, maybe new career for me. You're big on Pangu.
If everything else fails, like she too is an avid fisherwoman. So could just hit the open seas and maybe that's it. Island life might be calling, Steve.
Did you become a seafaring being and live off the water? I will say
like the boutique hotel in Costa Rica, it might be the next venture after I find a place to live. I should probably prioritize the place to live because I have to find that by tomorrow. But I still have not finalized where I'm living tomorrow. So welcome to my world.
Maybe back to audio only tomorrow. No, when I say I'm a fisherman, I caught 3 bluegill sunfish. So it's not like I'm like sitting here. I was like mealworm fishing off a dock, but fun stuff, good stuff. Cap, that said, I jumped into this room beforehand as we were getting warmed up, and you said, Pangu, feeling strong. Man. Talk me through it.
They are like Bored Apes put NFTs on the map. Bored Apes introduced NFTs to the masses. It's Pudgy Penguins is taking it mainstream. Pudgy Penguins, it's on its way to becoming a household brand. I just for the first time I got chills just saying that. Like I'm convinced they're going to become a recognizable brand across the planet from 8 to 80-year-olds. And this weekend just proved it. Like they did it, man. Like they've convinced the normies that NFTs aren't evil. I'll post it up top. I saw one person said in a Reddit thread, says, "Oh, Una reverse card. I dig this trajectory," because they were talking about how someone mentioned they started as a NFT brand and basically they didn't say pivot. I'm trying to find the post here quickly. Sorry. But basically started as an NFT brand, and they've got those gifts and people talking about, oh, their kids love the gifts. They're excited to watch the race car. Like their strategy of proliferation. It's the playbook, man. Like they dominating the gift game. They're everywhere. Kids are familiar with them. Now they're going on NASCAR, and yeah, they're becoming. Oh, by the way, their game is a smashing hit. Their mobile game seems to be seemingly a smashing hit, and they seem beloved by the masses, by the normies, those who, probably a year ago were probably attempting to dunk on NFTs. Now they're coming around because of this cute little fat penguin.
I'm not like, it's interesting. From the beginning of this thing, have been so curious why everybody, we talked about it with Doodles, we talked about it with Apes, we talked about it with insert any NFT PFP project. Why did nobody else do gifts? It felt like the lowest hanging fruit.
I don't get it. I it's mind blowing to me, like literally mind blowing. I saw someone else gave us like 7 suggestions for Bored Ape Yacht Club and what they could do on socials. Like, yeah, they're all good suggestions. I'm like, yeah, all these except for more luxury collaborations I've been suggesting for years. And this isn't a knock on apes either. We love apes. I'm just giving credit where credit's due. I have a small bag of Pingu. I don't have a little, I don't have a big. This is not a bag bias. My bag of Pingu is not going to change. It could go to 0 and I wouldn't think twice about it. This is not a bag bias. This is giving credit where credit's due. They're executing the playbook better than anyone in the space, and they deserve credit. This is a win for everyone. This is a win for NFTs. If we get a second NFT season, it's going to be Pingu leading the way. And I did not see that happening. Like, it's going to be a meme coin, a brand coin, if you will, revitalizing the NFT season for the normies.
Door dropping, apes always catching strays when others succeed. It's true only because apes tend to be the measuring stick because they sort of started the meta and everything. But it's not intentional stray. Like, I would say similar to you. It's just we've been.
It is the measuring stick. It's not a stray. It's just it is what it is. Like, it's. I love them. They're not executing the gift strategy. It is what it is. Like, they're not. Here's another thought. And again, someone's probably going to get upset about this, but one of the big differences, they went the ApeCo route from the jump as opposed to the DAO. You can't tell me things don't play out different. Like, look what Pudgy has done with one race sponsoring a NASCAR compared to what the DAO did with an entire season of F1 sponsorship. It's just, man, a DAO is not it. To run and again, it's been decommissioned, it's been sunset, and long live ApeCo. That cost them a couple years and figuring shit out. And Lucas talked about second mover advantage. And dude, it's like this is the path. Like, it's really hard to build something decentralized, especially when you have people grifting from a war chest that was over $1 billion at one point. And just there's not been a cohesive strategy where everything they've done has been about proliferating that brand, and it's working, man. It is working. So I'm just telling you how I see it, and they deserve all the credit, man. It is impressive.
Yeah, I mean, they sponsored a big NASCAR and got a huge NASCAR some NASCAR love. The DAO sponsored a BMW that never came to fruition. So there you go.
I mean, the DAO did sponsor an F1 car. I mean, again, I shoot it straight here. I was told I would get. I got used to help get that AIP approved, got invited to a space, was told they'd include me in some stuff. I've not yet even been to an F1 race. I didn't get invited to the Vegas one. I was promised I'd get invited to the Miami one. Nothing happened. Like, to me, it seems like they just burnt several $1 million on fire. I don't see anything converting from that. And I guess there's been some community events. I've just not been qualified to be invited to them.
Yeah. I get it, man. And yeah, I mean, there's definitely some situations like that we could go even deeper into. We won't. But
I'm speaking to the DAO that's been sunset.
But yeah, man, I guess like that's like it's such an interesting thing that since basically 3 years, I mean, we've been doing this show since December 2021. You started it in 2021, December 3rd or 4th, something like that. We've been saying basically this whole time, let's get some gifts. At one point, there was like a create your own gift, something or other that like kind of sort of worked, but like then it stopped working.
Man. It can't be led by someone in the community. This is where, yes, they can fan the flames. Some of this stuff, strategy starts from the top. And I think this is one of those things, like it needs to be done at the top. Like it's never going to get complete. It shouldn't say never. It's hard to get complete buy-in across the board if it's not from the top. And if the flames aren't fanned hard enough, the third party is going to die out. Like, yeah, there's some places out there you can create 8 gifts. If you think that there's been even remotely close to as many gifts populated throughout the internet, it's just like, it's not even remotely close.
I mean, the amount of times we said in this room, like I'm trying to remember the exact like cost we put on it. Cause I remember us being like, you could probably pay a community member $10,000 over the course of a month or two, and they would just create, and the deliverables. I think we had given this playbook not just to apes, but doodles, everybody.
Yeah, everyone could do. It's not just apes. It's just again, they're the ones who started it. That's why I use the example, and we're deep in the ecosystem.
And we're deep in the ecosystem, and we love that community. But like Doodles, we said it about too. We asked Doodles about it on the show, I think, at one point, and they're just like, we have other priorities, and like we see other ways to proliferate the brand, and not a priority right now.
Doodles.
But and like we heard that from them, and I think like we gave this strategy like over and over again, which was, I know this sounds really simple. It's like find a community member who's good at this. One of them has to exist in all these communities. Pay them 10 grand to say, take every single doodle in the ecosystem, create us, 5 gifts a day for every possible situation. Here are 10 categories to create gifts in. It's basically what Pudgy did. And we're like, why is every NFT brand not doing this?
Yeah, and I don't get it. Everyone followed the Bored Ape Yacht Club playbook that worked. The Pudgy playbook is working. Why is no one following it? They've shown you how to do it. I'm not saying it's easy. You know who's probably closest to following it is like Chimpers. Or, yeah, Chimpers probably comes to mind as the closest to following it. They hit 1 million on their Instagram. I think Instagram and TikTok. They're doing the gift game. Chimpers might be the most underrated brand in crypto native or web NFT native brand. Here's this video. It is worth listening to the 42 seconds because the announcers weren't familiar with it. They shame on me for not doing my research and figuring out who this new sponsor is. He goes on to say, but it's cute. It's memorable. Like you couldn't have scripted a better, like, for someone not knowing what it is to see the brand and then start talking about it. I said the putting on a clinic from gifts to sponsored ad. I get a sponsored ad on IG that has Pingu watermark once a week at least, if not more. Mobile game is crushing NASCAR. And then this is the Reddit thread that Marcel put out. Look at this, man. These are normies. Started off as NFTs, then pivoted into online animations, pivoted into gifts of their characters and selling plushies. They didn't pivot, but that's how people perceive it. So actually build a brand out of being an NFT, which is surprising. Yeah, I never bought anything of theirs. Didn't know they were an NFT, but I've seen their animations on Insta and TikTok. Cute little dudes. Huh. Reverse card. I love this trajectory. The penguin is adorable. Unless these are all plants, like, holy moly. What a, like, they win. They won. GG's.
Yeah, it's a strategy where it's like, I mean, again, I actually at one point recently saw someone share one of the Bored Ape Yacht Club gifts that does exist on like a Facebook post. And I'm like, people share gifts that they think are funny and relate to the thing that they're talking about. Like, it's, and I remember like Tebow used to share them for a while out of whatever the gift maker thing was for every like Taco Tuesday, you name it. It's like,
here's my proof point. Tebow, awesome. Happy belated birthday, by the way. Turned 29 again yesterday. He's probably shared more gifts from his personal account than apes have shared collectively from all their brand accounts.
Yeah.
I question why. Why is everyone so adamantly against creating and sharing gifts?
It's a low lift. And again, you could literally, it's like a win. We said this probably 2-3 years ago at this point, where it's like the win is you hire a community member, you pay him a little bit of money, you give him 20 categories to make gifts, you give him a quota to make a certain amount of gifts, you pay him half the money up front, you pay him the second half upon deliverables, and you have them run for like 2-3 months, and all of a sudden you have 1,000 gifts created where the person's like, sweet, this is my job for the next 2 months. Create gifts. I know how to do this. This is easy for me. And you take every ape in the collection, you have a bias towards the ones with the people with the big following, so they'll share them as well. And you have a Taco Tuesday, you have a GM, you have it's Tuesday, you have it's Wednesday, you have it's Thursday, you have a TGIF, you have it's the weekend, like you have a football gift, you have anything I search for, I can find a Pudgy Penguin gift for. And I know it seems like people we actually got kind of laughed at by some of the people in communities and teams where it's like, oh, there's other ways we proliferate and do things. It's like, this is just a top of the funnel thing that is for all the money and the things that some of these companies have spent cash on. There's like a very easy solution to be like, this is a small thing you can do. And then it just works forever. The gifts just always exist. Yep. So you spend 2-3 months getting them. And this isn't
talking about compound interest, man. Yeah, exactly that. They stay forever. They work forever. Everyone it builds and builds and builds upon itself. It's going to take a while, and you're not going to have 1 billion, hundreds of millions, or whatever Giphy views they have overnight. But yeah, it just seems like for all the money people throw. What in the hell why is gas pumping? Sorry, I just saw my suggested GUI came up it was plus 200. I haven't seen that since the glory days.
World Liberty Financial, maybe? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Because I'm not, yeah, that's not my World Liberty Financial, not my bag. But
211s right in the base fee. That is wild. What a time. Take me back, baby. It's September. September 2021 was my greatest month ever in trading. So let's kick it off.
Yeah, September going to be an interesting month for sure. A lot of things. So let's do this. We have a badge to give away shortly. Again, give us a like, a retweet, a comment in the room. We got to pick 100 ape winner, which we will. I got some other news you might have missed being out in the woods this weekend. I see our guy Poppy out there.
big news over the weekend. I think it was announced yesterday. I caught the recording. I missed the space live, but I caught the recording. Acquired Quirky. So GG, congrats. I actually heard them talking about that. Ashley got named. Our friend Ashley got named head of social. They talked the gift strategy. Like, guy gets it. I'm excited to see what he does now with the full reins over there. Congratulations, well deserved.
Love hearing that. Love hearing that.
Yeah, he also said it is World Liberty Financial launched.
Yeah.
So I may trade this today. I think it might pump shortly here at launch, and as soon as things chill and simmer down, I'm probably going to open up a short.
Oh, nice. I am not playing them. I'm considering playing a little bit of leverage to start to play around and get with it. As far as, like I said, those shorts and longs that liquidate at very low prices with some leverage. But we shall see. Also DM'd you the code, so we'll see if people figure out the code. We had some ingenuitive people the past couple of weeks who figured out the code before I put it out there, so I kept this one a little bit more. It's simple, but it's also not as obvious as previous days. So, and by the way, congrats to all those who collected Elder badges last week. They closed on Sunday night. Max of 100.
We're going to send a reminder too. So did not do that. So sneaky. That's it's kind of big for those that have paid attention a minute every week, because now that I'm guessing Sunday or Friday was probably our lowest claim day. I'm looking right now.
Yeah, only 168.
So at max, there can only be 168 people in the running for the grand prize, as well as the top three. Like, thousands of dollars could be won, and only 168 of you are in the running. If you've been minting, definitely don't miss out, because that's at max. Like, there's a good chance there's going to be less than 100 that are in the running for the grand prize, Steve.
It's a pretty good odds for something for you to get just for showing up and pressing buttons. So pressing buttons does pay off sometimes. And again, got a 100 ape to give away today, which we shall do. But I'm going to do this, Cap. I'm going to do more, because you kind of teased a little bit of talking about the months coming up.
Also closing on 500 members, 446. We need to get that over 500 this week.
Yeah, we got to get the 500. We only need tell your friends to join. Only 54 more members. Other page ranked number 5. So get us some love on there. But pretty cool being able to shoot up a top 5 in after a couple of days and holding that position strong. So tell your friends. Look, tell your normie friends. Honestly, your normie friends need to connect an email, an X account, and press a button. And imagine if one of your friends,
that's how we onboard them,
joins other page, gets onto the Coffee with Captain page, claims a couple of badges by pressing a couple buttons, and then wins 2,500 ape, 1,500 ape, 1,000 ape right away. They're getting a native crypto. They're getting the opportunity to win some cash, and they're joining and actually minting an NFT without knowing it. So get out there and do it. But
speaking of, that's the same thing with the Pudgy party game. People are playing it, enjoying it. There's NFTs there, but no one knows. Like, they're just like all around. They're hitting on all cylinders right now. And not only am I going to open up a short on World Liberty, I think I'm going to go back for another long on Pingu. I just don't. Maybe value doesn't accrue back to the underlying token. It's just hard to see the route they're heading. If the game does actually become a smash hit, not just a short run up the charts hit, but actually like sticks and they start generating serious revenue, and he starts buying back Pingu, like, they're in a position to turn on a pretty like, imagine if they start implementing the hyperliquid model as far as the flywheel goes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it feels like they always have something up their sleeve, but also it's hard to know. Like, Luca is a showman. He is, he's got that PT Barnum in him that he likes to, get everybody excited. So yeah, man, I mean, he may have something up his sleeve in Q4, like he claims. He may have something up his sleeve for Pangu. I don't know. But I do think we see, I mean, I have not sold my Pangu yet. I was balancing out some positions in LPs, and I did sell a little bit of Rect instead of some other stuff. I'm still sitting on quite a bit, plenty for me anyway. Not like a big bag for most people. For me, it is. And Pangu, I do feel like both Pangu and Rect have another chapter to come in the next few months. But I think we got to get through the next September, October, November. Like, I think December feels juicy to me.
It does. I want to buy before things get juicy. And right now, the execution seems to be on point, and my timeline is I'm fine waiting until December. I mean the correct answer is probably just DCA and just buy any dips, but I may just open up a long where with 0 chance of liquidation and just ride it. I think I go up to 5x on hyperliquid, so I may just ride it through the pump that I expect to be coming at some point.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other play you could just make. You could just like play it long and believe in it and just sit around and wait until you can close that sucker out. But no, I mean, I have enough Pangu as far as like my exposure feels comfortable where I'm at.
Everyone's
holding a little here.
That Pingu. The shout out to Rocky, big $5 USD tip. Jambert gave some Pingu, to double Pingu. Appreciate you, and yourself and Von Frunton. So getting some Pingu. Rocky saying, not getting my Pingu. Here's a 5. Here's a 5.
Nice. I kicked you over the code for today, so we'll get in the code for those who are out there trying to claim badges. We'll let you know. But I'm going to do more first and talk a little bit about some markets, and maybe we'll give the code on the other end of that.
The more you know, brought to you by ENS.
It's time for the more you know, brought to you by our friends over at ENS, and we are entering September. We have entered September. September, we are inside of you. And September traditionally has been one of Bitcoin's weakest months of the year since 2013. The average return in September is from being down 3% to down 5%, depending on the source you're looking at, with Bitcoin finishing lower 8 out of the last 12 years. Not a good sign for crypto in September, generally speaking. However, those September slumps are often powered by a powerful fourth quarter rebound. Historical patterns show Bitcoin generating an average gain of around 30% in October and a staggering 38% in November. So to summarize, we're entering September. Maybe rate cuts are going to save us, but if they're not, we may go lower, down 3 to 5% on average in September. But maybe we'll do it again. Maybe we'll drop below 100. But hold on for dear life. Hodl those coins potentially. Not financial advice, because October average gain of 30%, November average gain of 37 to 38%. So huge. So seasonally, not looking good going into this month. Obviously, we have been shopping around. We are hoping for some rate cuts, but 2 after that are among Bitcoin's best performing months. So buckle up, especially with all the tailwinds we got. Could be a good one. And that was the More You Know, brought to you by ENS. ENS does more than you know, not just anchoring your name across Web3, but anchoring it across the internet. It's your identity, simple, memorable, and unmistakably yours. Security, interoperability, and ease of use. Go to ens.domain, secure yours today, Cap. So I felt like September was traditionally weaker. I looked it up, and in fact, it was. I just didn't realize that, October, November are 30 and 38% pumps respectively. So could be in for a fun little ride here.
October, they call it, Steve.
October indeed. Let's do this. I'm going to let you guys know the code. So as people know, you need to go to other.page.
Real quick. Does everyone love Steve's inside voice? Like, we don't get Steve's inside voice ever. Not usually. We only get Steve's inside voice when he's in the woods. It's so funny to me. Like, you're talking a little softer. You don't want to wake anyone up, sleeping in the cabin. Like, Steve's outside voice, we finally get an inside voice from Steve.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, so I'm in the best possible place. So the cabin we have is sort of on the end of the street, and there's other cabins around. But I am needing to be not too loud because this is an outdoor area, and probably 100 feet that way, 100 feet that way. There's other cabins. And so there are people out who are already making breakfast, but there are people who are sleeping who their kids are friends with my kids who I don't want to necessarily wake up if they are sleeping in after having one too many soda pops last night. So, trying to keep it quiet.
Jambert likes the hat. Is that a V-Friends hat?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's the Loyal Lobster hat. It's one of my faves actually. Love this one. Shout out Andy. Andy actually sent me this one. Andy, the CEO of V-Friends, offered that one, and I'm like, hell yes. So Loyal Lobster, big fan of that one. And I think this is one he sent me. Maybe I might have. Yeah, I don't think I bought this one. I think he sent this one to me. But I bought several V-Friends things since because I love their gear. They actually make really high. It's a really high quality hat, like the actual quality of it. I have the Creative Crab one as well, so making that work. So yeah, man. Loyal Lobster for you right there. All right, so you're going to want to go to other.page/claim, other.page/claim, and the code is CWC2. CWC2, other.page/claim, CWC2. Or you can go directly to our other page and get it there as well, putting it in the war room, putting it in all the places. So you can start there and getting out the claiming as you go. But yeah, we'll make it work. I'm looking forward to, by the way, I can't multi-window while I'm at I know you always laptop. I usually have sort of the battle station. So I'll be curious to catch up on the war room because it looks like there's some spirited discussion about Bored Ape Yacht Club and everything going on there.
Yeah, well, I guess what happens in the war room does lead the war room. I would just say that I mean, it's good discussion. I will I'll chime in later, but yeah, last thing, I do think a membership director would be helpful. If they don't, again, the conversation is, do they want to be a consumer brand? They want to build character IP, and the area is no. Fine. Everybody has to do the exact same thing. I think a membership director would be as valuable as gifts from my perspective, but that's just me.
I mean, again, these are things we're not like experts. It's harder to run a company, so we know like it's easy to sit from where we are. You know, I don't know, Tropo, why don't you start an NFT brand project and do everything correctly? But it is like we have been saying since 2021, not about Bored Ape Yacht Club specifically, about all these NFT brands, about Doodles, about Bored Ape Yacht Club, about all the majors, about Azuki, about all of them. It's like a membership director, someone to welcome people in so they really want to be part of your club and make those connection points the same way that a country club has that. The country club has those connectors, right? A communications person who can help you so your message is really crisp, still at a point where people don't care about communications in this space. And like I said, it was funny. ICO Beast had a quote the other day on Hunter O'Rell's podcast where he was just like, yeah, it's really good to have someone who can help you craft your story. If your CEO is not good at it, it's like, did we just invent communications and public relations, something that's existed that companies spend millions of dollars on? Like, I remember there's a company, I was at a company where like, when we were spending like $25,000 a month on like communications and PR on external agencies, it was considered way too low and we needed to like triple that budget type thing. So it's like, you know, at least. So it's like, that's like the level of like what most companies that are large do. But so I think membership director, communications and marketing person, and community leads. Those three things to me are the membership director is not the community lead. The community lead manages the community and is in charge there. That is the cruise director that helps make things spin up in the community and the Discord and the spaces, helps run all that stuff. I think Pudgy actually does a really good job like with that sort of deal at Doodles. You have membership director who helps bring people in, who does business development to bring people in, communications director. And then, by the way, the last position I would add that we would talk about quite a bit is your biz dev lead, who is going out and getting those deals so that, hey, if you own a Moonbird, you get a free football.fun pack type thing. Like those four things, again, like we've sort of talked about this over time. And again, it's easy for where we sit because we're not running it. And I am not knocking any individual specific brand because like you said, we're apes, we're going to Ape Fest. We love our apes. They started and they set the playbook. But we've said this about all these brands. Like these are sort of these things that every time we talked about, do you remember when Doodles came back from not talking for like 2 months on X or anywhere else and went completely silent? We thought it was like a big play. And they came back and they were just like, yeah, we probably could do a better job about that. And somebody on the space was like, so are you going to be hiring a communications person? And their response was, well, we kind of got some other things like some dev stuff we need to hire first and some engineers we need to hire first. And it's like, okay, like you're still not prioritizing it after like what just happened this month. So it's like just not a priority for a lot of these brands, and it is what it is. But I know you're big on the Pangu thing and what they're doing, and I think they're doing a good job on the proliferation. But overall, I mean, look, I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm excited for Ape Fest, like you said, excited for that. Going to be a fun time in Vegas with my friends and fam. But Cap, what else? I know we have a guest coming up here in about 15 minutes. I probably need to jump between 9 and 9:30 because I will get kicked out of the cabin I am in at 10 o'clock. So I need to be ready to do that because they need to clean it for the next people.
It's hilarious that Steve is more worried about getting out of his cabin than I am my home. And I have quite a bit more work to pack today than Steve does.
Also, it's just an emotional thing. I want to get home to the puppies. I miss my puppies. I wish we had been able to bring them. We should have gotten the pet friendly one. We would have had to leave them in a little bit, but it's also like with this many people here, the pet friendly one wouldn't work, and our 2-year-old puppy is still a puppy, so she's a little bit much for this. But let's do.
Says I thought we were off today. We're hanging out yesterday after another epic pool day, and like I gotta. Yeah, big day tomorrow. I gotta get home, got a show, and she's like on a holiday. I'm like, oh man, we haven't had this conversation yet. I was like, oh yeah, everyone 365 days a year. We haven't missed one. She's like jaw drop, but she's not on X, so I'm in the clear, Steve. I'm running it about as pure as possible. I did that she's become a recurring bit on the show, and she's like her jaw drop. She's like, I don't say anything bad. It's just, but I can only imagine what she actually thinks I talk about for 2 hours.
Yeah, nobody knows, honestly. It's like when I try to explain to my friends that I was, I just at this point, like I have gotten to the point where my friends and people around me are like, oh, you do a show.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually the cable guy. I was telling him when he was coming to look at my internet, the internet guy was looking at my internet, and I was like, yeah, it's gone up like 3 times, and like I stream for my job, and he's like, oh, are you like a YouTuber? I'm like, something like that. It's just, yeah, I don't know, man.
She goes, where can I see this? And I was like,
you're like nowhere. It doesn't stream in America.
Let's a really niche audience.
Let's do this, Cap. I'm gonna toss you because I gotta go check on something. I'm gonna toss you the daily market update. And I'll let you kind of lead on that. And I will return and we'll hit on any other topics. I have a couple evergreen things we need to hit on some stuff, but I know we got a couple topics. We got a guest coming up, so I'll play us into the daily market update.
The daily market update straight to your brain. Powered by ApeChain, no hype, just gains. Moving on ApeChain, we bring in the heat. NFTs, fence alpha, never miss a beat. ApeChain on top, now we bring in the flex. The home of NFTs, these now what's next? Come on, my head top, but you want the time to chop for one time.
It's time for the daily market update powered by our friends at ApeChain, the home of NFTs. ApeChain has it all, bringing culture, fun, and community to the blockchain. Dive in and see why ApeChain is on top. Cap, hand it to you.
Yes, sir. Starting majors. You said we're chopping. Bitcoin is flat at 108,724. ETH down 2% to 43.88. It did reclaim 4,400, however. XRP down 2% to 277. Solana lost 200. It's down to 199.27. Doge down 1% to 21 cents. And Cardano continues to be a stable coiner in that 80 to 85 cent range. Runes, good luck. Bonk down 5% of the day. Trump up 6% on the day that World Liberty Financial launches. I'm sure there's no manipulation or any funny business going on there. Pudgy or Pingu rather down 4% despite their big weekend and me attempting to pump their bags. Maybe we get a coffee with Captain Pump. We get to back to break even. Pepe down 2% on the day to 4 bill. Sheeb down 1% to 7 bill. Doge down 1% to 21 cents, 32 bill. It's kind of wild when you think about Pingu and Rect and all these new memes, Bonk even, Pump, and how still far off they are from not just Pepe, but Sheeb and Doge. Like, imagine if we had a new meme coin launched and ran to 32 billion. And I don't know, maybe provenance does actually matter, but I think the upside is there if we do, in fact, get a run after rate cuts hit. Back up to NFTs, though. 6529 must have had a weekend. A gradient sold, bumping that floor to 19.9, along with the memes collection. Flat, but did have a lot of volume. 99 sales, 38 ETH in volume. Not sure if there's a drop coming. I need to probably should spend some time and explore that ecosystem. I don't know. It just seems like it's complicated. I feel like I'd have so much catching up to do, and I've just essentially faded it because I haven't. I don't know. Just haven't taken the time to explore. But it continues to hold, and many are big fans of that collection as it continues to grow. V1 CryptoPunks down 6% to 3.6. Mythics up 6%, back over 0.4 again. XCore, I'm not sure what this one is. If anyone knows, educate me, but I couldn't figure it out. Art Blocks, I don't know why it's showing the 2 ETH floor now, but they did cap their thing at 500 collections, but it's definitely not a 2 ETH floor. If you click through collection, it's showing some, but there's definitely that. Holy moly. Is this real or is this a wash sale? No way, this just sold for 25 ETH. Gotta be a wash sale. Anyways, I digress. Back to the update. We're not gonna spend our time looking at 25 ETH squiggle sales. Moonbird's up 2% to 2.98, probably reclaims 3 ETH. Mutant's down 1% to 1.38. Pudgy, Big Pudgy's down 1% to 9.88. And Lil's down basically flat, 1.17. Not many ape sales. First time in a while we haven't seen apes popping in the top 10 in terms of volume. I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think these things are meant to be traded at high velocity, and I think it's fine if collectors want to collect and it doesn't pop on a trending NFT sale on the daily. But you're probably talking, I mean, less than 3, if I were to guess, to not pop on the volume chart today. Actually less than 2 in the last 24 hours. So I'm guessing. I'll go check here in a sec. But that's our daily market update brought to you by ApeChain. ApeChain on top, the home of NFTs, the home of Otherside, the home of ApeCoin and ApeCo, and setting up our guest here in a minute. But Steve, that's the update. Back to you.
Yeah, good stuff. I actually had a very, I mean, I want to hit on any other topics you hit on before we go through our guests and talk all things ApeChain. I know we were going to talk a little bit of some ApeChain updates as well, I think with SimpleFarmer, so we can do that if we want to. My other comment is, by the way, other.page/claim, reminder, other.page/claim. The code is CWC2. Again, CWC2 at other.page/claim.
Should have been popping. I don't know why they didn't show. There has been 3 sales, so enough volume to pop on the chart there, but 9.21 floor. It's actually up 1% on the day. I saw, I think they did dip below 9. They were in the 8s there for a minute, but that appears to have quickly, even some WETH sales there at 9, but yeah, quickly bounced back up over 9.
Yeah, the other thing I had on my list is I've actually been finding myself more increasingly impressed with I know people are like drop the token, haha, but like friends over at OpenSea, I think continue to like just worth putting out for a brand that was getting hammered on the timeline pretty regularly. You know, they had their competition where they gave away $10,000 in cash and a chance to work with.
Kid you not, I saw this post this morning and actually had the thought, go back up. I was going to share the same thing. I read that. I said, I read my brain. The first thing I saw this morning, I was still happy to say, saw the wait is over. Oh my God, they're dropping the token. No, it's not. They're just announcing the winner of this AI contest. Sorry, but when I saw that, I actually thought they were dropping the token because they opened it up.
I saw when they had in no particular order, but like I saw this ST McFly person who had put out a really good video. I'm having trouble loading because of the internet here, of course. Bad internet follows me everywhere, but really like at a loss for words. I've been a creator for over 15 years and I've never won a judge competition before. Like you see stuff like this, the experience they're giving. This one that was really cool. Our guy Flyride did a really good one. I was actually talking to him before he went out there to film that one, so he was on his way out to like get that thing done. So, you know, giving away money there. The Pudgy Party, congratulations, and putting out sort of like some video content on that to congratulate Pudgy Party. Obviously, their wrap of the week, adding Hyperliquid with a really nice, you know, like they've been on top of it. They have tons of editorial content. They have a bunch of chains, and their content is leveled up, and they're being more involved in the community. Like I'm, like, you know, it's just, I guess my thought is for a brand that is much maligned to many people, like you know, at various times in the cycle, I feel like they're on a nice little ripper right now. I don't know, like it feels like they're hot, and I know everyone's like, oh, drop the token, but like I know everyone likes to say when token. My main point being, they're doing a really good job with everything they can. None of us know when and how the token's going to come, but I don't know. I just top of mind that I think they're doing a good job, and it's like in a world where I feel like Magic Eden has disappeared from my timeline in a lot of ways, I think OpenSea has taken a pretty good pole position.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Like everyone thought Magic Eden was going to flip them at one point and like just completely take over the game, and I feel like OpenSea said, nope, we're, you know, not so fast, my friend.
Yeah, how much do you think is what do you think changes post TGE?
So there's two separate conversations there. It's about like chain usage and things like that and how they run the reward system. I mean, I couldn't tell you how the reward system plays out post TGE, right? Because I don't know what they're planning for rewards wise. So there might be a reward system post TGE that keeps people in that if they have a loyalty system plan post, you know, drop there. So possible. that it continues going on. So I don't know the answer to that. I don't know what they're going to do with the tokens. So I don't know the answer to that. I do know, though, that as a, as far as like what they've done on the timeline, I mean, if they continue putting out good content, if they continue onboarding new chains, if they continue giving people options to, do things on their, on their site that you can't do anywhere else in multiple places, if they continue to, exist in the community, to me, that's, I still feel good about them. No, I mean, like do you think like post EG you're going to be like, oh man, I want to go use Magic Eden now? I don't know.
No. Zero chance.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, like, and they haven't added ordinals. I mean, what happens when Chris Mattern comes in and adds ordinals, which is like giving Magic Eden a ton of money there? I know, like, not everyone's like really bullish or loves ordinals, but like generates a lot of value for Magic Eden. Like, what happens when OpenSea adds that? It's still, it's a very real thing. So I don't know. I find myself excited about what OpenSea is doing, and it's exciting just because they are an OG in the space and they are something that we all came up using. So it's cool to see them just continuing to build forward. So good stuff there. What else do you want to hit on before special guest and before we keep on? And again, CWC other.page other.page.claim CLAIM CWC2. Simple as that. Claim a badge. A lot of people probably sleepy on a holiday Monday, so you might be able to get one in there and without people knowing. Although I might put out a tweet with this one later today. But Cap, what else you got on your tick list before we guest? And like I said, probably sometime in the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to probably jump out of here to get myself moving.
Big shout out to Rock Paper Hands. Appreciate the pingu. I saw SimpleFarmer was up on stage and you're dropped. I'm not sure where you fell off. If you're able to jump back up, more than welcome. Wanted to get in a quick, beyond our special guest, a quick ApeCo update. They had another announcement, some news over the weekend. Looks like he might have to be taking a lap, but I will go pull up a thread and I'll let him give us the TLDR if he's able to. SimpleFarmer GM, always a pleasure. Check 1, check 2. He might still been connected. Oh no.
Is the phone volume down?
All the way up. Man, that's disappointing. I thought we had solved the issue.
SimpleFarmer, talk. Let me see if I can hear you on the space. Yeah, so it's coming through on the space. So maybe the problem wasn't solved. You have the OEM part, don't you? Or is it not arrived?
Hasn't arrived yet.
What?
Might be at the post office box. I'll go check that out.
Got it. Cool. Well, we could do this. Do you want to summarize SimpleFarmer's update with headphones type deal?
Yeah. Let me.
Or we could bring him back on tomorrow if we got everything fixed up and ready, and do it then too. Since I know we got a guest coming up here in a little bit, although our guest has not joined yet. So you tell me, Cap. Dealer's choice.
Yeah, let me do this. How about if you can hear him, you want to do SimpleFarmer just like 20 to 30 second clips. That way Steve can paraphrase your what you share to the rest of the audience. And for those that are watching video streams, just hang tight. We will get the take delivered, translated back to you here shortly. But yeah, SimpleFarmer, go ahead, 20, 30 seconds takes, and then Steve can summarize.
So you mentioned project. He mentioned Project Raid. Mentioned he was starting with Solana, giving more sort of availability to ApeCoin, more opportunity for more people to reach it, adding more liquidity into the mix. SimpleFarmer, I do have to ask: is the plan just to have ApeCoin able to be deployed so you can get ApeCoin on ETH, you can get ApeCoin on Ape? You're now putting it on Solana. Is the goal to just go multi-chain options with sort of the price, tightly tracking within the same range on multiple chains? Yeah, so the TLDR on that, thanks, SimpleFarmer, appreciate that. The TLDR on it basically is, moving other chains natively going to go and exist in their ecosystem and do things that are familiar to them there. So, we talked about, integrating with Radium on Solana and doing things that make it easier for people to access it where they are. So it's like, for example, like if I'm doing LPs on Meteor and there's an Ape LP on there that happens, I might be able to play around on there. So he's trying to basically give DeFi access to ApeCoin on multiple places, on multiple chains, integrate in the community. There's going to be a push through BAYC as well. So I'm honestly like, makes sense to me. It's good stuff, man. That's the stuff. It's making it more accessible and then integrating into those DeFi options where a lot of people do like to play around, whether they're playing on the perps, whether they're playing on the LPs, going to give some options there. And I know that was one of the things I was excited about, Cap, is like bringing on SimpleFarmer as sort of head of DeFi made me happy because it's like, okay, they're taking that seriously. I know it's sort of like I was saying yesterday when I was explaining to everyone who was fishing, I caught a fish and then like they were like, talking. I was like, no, here's what you want to do. Trust me, I've caught one fish today. I've been in DeFi. It's like, trust me, I've been in DeFi for like 5 weeks. So it's a big deal to me that they're moving more into DeFi. But truthfully, like as soon as I got into it, I realized, okay, this is what a lot of people on CT want to do. It's actually a fun game. A lot of people want to play. So I think it's smart that they're integrating ApeCoin more into the game there. So kudos to that. Kudos to SimpleFarmer and team, and definitely excited about that. And we'll see. I know we got our guests coming on here shortly. When they pop on, we'll get them up and going. But if they don't, SimpleFarmer said he could jump on stream as well. So if we want to talk more about that, we'll let you know, SimpleFarmer. But I think I mean, like I'm excited that Ape is, we talked about this over the weekend a little bit. You and I both had this comment. We saw Nova, our guy at Other Page, mention that, no shade in anyone before or anything else, but ApeCo has leveled up. And he even said, like, look, public discourse is good, but you send a message to someone, you're probably going to get a response. And it's worth taking it, not necessarily just on the timeline, but like just seeing if there's a problem and they'll solve it. Check out their hook while the DJ revolves it. So I think definitely seen that level up on our end as well. And I specifically called out Spend as an example of someone who I think, is constantly in contact with us, constantly having conversations and staying on top of things. I just feel like ApeCo, you mentioned it at the top of the show in passing, how imagine if instead of the DAO, we just had ApeCo right off the rip, what we would have right now. And obviously you live, you learn, you experiment, ApeCoin is for the community, all that good stuff, but does feel like they have people who are with KPIs, with real goals, who are moving the needle on this a little bit. And so I don't know, Cap, I feel good about it. I can't hear you, Cap. I don't know if you...
Yep, sorry. Yeah, I was trying to figure out audio and it did not. But same. No, I feel really good about it. And the outcome would certainly be different. I think it would be different to the positive, but you love to see it. Better late than never. And very bullish on the team that has been built and just immediately jumping in and making moves, not waiting, or planning and strategizing for 6 months and then maybe doing something, but just getting in, taking action. And we saw it with Clutch Markets. Like the guy ships. He's got, I don't know if it's just himself or a team of ninjas or whatever there, but ships relentlessly and just absolutely love to see it. So congratulations. Good. Appreciate you jumping up to share the update, and apologies again for the audio. I truly have no idea, Steve. I thought it was as simple as the audio was just turned down too low, and clearly is not it. So
yeah, I mean, another thing to throw out for people there while Cap is troubleshooting, another thing to throw out to people there, if you are a fantasy football enjoyer and you want to try a Spoiled Banana Society draft, again, they are running, I believe, for a couple more days. I've got one more. I impulse bought one the other night, and so I still need to get that going on there. I think at some point I got to pay attention. At some point I think I'm supposed to be in a special draft because I won like a jackpot, so I need to be in that draft. So I need to make sure I'm paying attention to that. I know that they were like lining up some people into that group, so I don't know when that draft's going to happen, but I got to pay attention. Hopefully it wasn't this weekend and I missed it because I was very away from keyboard all weekend long. I should probably actually check that and see if I've been tagged in something. I don't think they've done jackpot draft yet, but I might need to put it in there. They're always running promotions though. So Soil Banana Society, I have become a little bit obsessed with it, and they are always running promotions. So check it out. I mean, they even have right now, buy 2 get 1 free, unlimited times on a promo that they have going right now. It looks like so. Pay attention. I'll probably buy 2 more today, and then I'm going to cap myself. But been very much enjoying drafting and playing some different teams out and playing some different strategies out, and looking forward to getting into that. Cap, I know we're waiting for a guest. What else do you have on your list today?
I mean, this World Liberty Fi thing launched. Stablecoin USD1 is what they're calling it. It's live on Solana. I don't really quite understand what else they're doing there, but that's probably on me. Yeah, those were the big ones. Anything else on your end?
No, I mean, the other things I had on there, I had the OpenSea thing. I mean, look, Bitcoin dipping again. It just kind of has been a stable coin for the last month or so. Like, I believe Bitcoin.
Oh,
I believe Bitcoin. Ever heard of it? No, I'm just kidding. I believe Bitcoin is sitting at 109,000 or so, and I believe it was at 109,000 3.5 months ago. So, not a lot of movement from sort of the king coin there. Hyperliquid's been chopping it down, but I still feel good about that one. I had World Liberty Financial's stablecoin. I know a lot of people are playing it. Obviously, we talked about Poppy and taking over Corky, so curious to see what he does with that. And then I had some of the OpenSea items, but I mean, generally speaking, those are sort of my items going to the holiday weekend. I'm not sure. This is a possible our special guest. I know we got the invite out this morning. Maybe we're still waiting on them, but we'll see if they're going to jump on. Because like I said, I got to go probably somewhat shortly here if they're not able to make it. But
what is can anyone explain to me why World Liberty Fi is sending gas this morning? This like they had their pre-sale. This is like was there a public sale today? I just haven't been following. I should have, I guess, but it wasn't something I had any interest in really, and I don't know. I kind of confused as to why gas is absolutely ripping.
Yeah, it's
public sale. I don't even. I know I sound really intelligent talking about this leading news topic today, but
yeah, I think this is one where it's also an interesting day for them to launch. But it's
right.
Yeah, I don't but I haven't been following because like I have not followed closely on anything from the sort of Trump family.
So it is the actual token launch, but what I don't understand is if are only people who got in the pre-sale the ones who are getting their allocation today, or was there another public sale tied to it? I assume it's just people getting their pre-sale and dumping. Like that's the only reason it would send gas, right?
Yeah, I have no idea. Honestly, like I'm similar to you. Like we're kind of the boomers here in this one that we haven't been following it. Look, busy weekend, haven't been paying attention, and this is also isn't our type of nonsense, right? We're not generally involved. Like we try to follow the market and play it how we play it, but this is one that I have not followed super closely since the beginning. I believe the initial World Liberty Financial launch, they talked about. I think you had to be an accredited investor. That is not me, so I'm not able to jump in on that. So I just was sort of sidelined to begin with, and I think it kind of sat it out since.
Yeah, bubble maps look not great, but I think 5% unlocked at launch. Again, I just followed the headlines. It is what it is. I'm just surprised that there's clearly a lot of people there's clearly a lot of volume to be sending gas like this. I just trying to follow the actual like chart is I don't know. Nothing's making sense to me why gas is popping the way it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Could not tell you. But yeah, man,
Here's the chart.
Well, that's a good chart.
Wait, this isn't it. Never mind. 3 million market cap can't be it. Someday deck screener should probably get proper. Yeah, I think all these are scam ones. Never mind. Disregard. I'll see if I can find an actual contract.
Nice. I'm still, by the way, I will refer people if people are interested in it. Myriad Markets, I'm finally getting a little bit involved in. So if people wanted to play around on there, let me know. I will hit you with the ref link. I know you mentioned like, hey, there's some crowded markets, there's some less crowded markets. To your point, I think I did a little bit of playing around in Myriad Markets, and leaderboard wise, I am almost top 1,000 from non-existent on the leaderboard after like one set of bets. So probably going to play on there a little bit, doing some prediction markets, have a couple different strategies I'll be playing on there.
I like your strategy. I need to figure out why I can't get my USDC to work. And I'm, this is a green screen. I'm in the Bahamas right now, and it won't let me bet.
You're geogated, or your USDC simply is not existent on your profile?
No, it won't let me. It's like grayed out. It won't let me bet on anything. It says unavailable. USDC markets are not available in your country. This feature is not available in restricted territories. I wonder if somehow it locks like my wallet to the first location I log in from. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I haven't deleted cache yet. That's the next thing I'll do, and maybe that'll clear it out. But usually I never have any trouble with my quick trips to the Caribbean or Frankfurt.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've heard you can bet in Germany, is what I've heard. So best luck on that. But yeah, Myriad's another one where I've been playing a little bit of less crowded market. I do like prediction markets. I know prediction markets are sexy on the timeline. I mean, the other thing I was gonna like do old man yell at cloud about InfoFi, because it becomes increasingly popular for people to just yell about InfoFi stinking and it ruins the timeline and yada yada yada. I do have a little bit of a rant that probably I should think more before I roll off the tongue, but it is a little bit odd seeing people who got 5 or 6 figure airdrops from Kaido, who then are doing deals with Kaido leaderboard people talking about how Kaido's ruining the timeline. Like, I get it. There are some bot replies. I'm not trying to like take shots. Like, I'm legitimately not. It's like you get these hyperbolic statements about like, oh my God, InfoFi is ruining the timeline. And again, and it's doing this. And it's like, brother, it is less than a year old and has distributed tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars to people who are legitimate creators. Like, I don't understand. Like, I was critical of Kaido. Being critical in spots and being critical about certain mechanisms is great. Like, I get that. That's how you improve. But being like, this is it. InfoFi is ruining the timeline. It's not what we thought. Who knew? It's a horrible idea. Like, I'm seeing it constantly from so many creators. And I'm like, you're the people who got 5 and 6 figure airdrops from this thing to begin with, and got airdrops from the initial companies that were working on there. And some of them are doing deals, like have sponsorship deals with the people, with the companies that have Kaido leaderboards. It's like, what are we doing here? I don't know. So that's a whole different rant, but it's like, people gaining yaps engagement farming while complaining about yapping. So that was on my list as well from a different perspective. But
speaking of, I've got 2 more days. My Kaido is available to withdraw on September 3rd. So unstaking is past the halfway point of my wait period.
And they take the whole period. It's funny. I was on, can't remember what staking site I was on that said it could be like 7 to 12 days or something, and it unstaked pretty much instantly. It was Anchor. But yeah, they will take the whole time on Kaido. They did indeed take the whole time. But yeah, those are like, again, like kind of a, like we said, holiday weekend. Cap and I were both a little bit of AFK on some things, but I mean, it really is like a choppy market at the moment. It is a very, we're waiting to see if we're getting rate cuts in September. Again, September has traditionally been a down month, probably, 3 to 5%. October, November are traditionally up 30 and 38% respectively for Bitcoin. So could see the run into the end of the year if a lot of people are predicting that. So position yourself accordingly. But yeah, man, it was a busy weekend on the streets for me with the family. But I mean, like I said, nice part about the chop, my liquidity pools have just been sitting there collecting fees basically for almost a week now without having to rebalance. It's just been trading in range. So we've been range bound here for a little bit. So see if we potentially break out. Cap, I'm gonna go in about in a couple minutes here because I gotta, like I said, I gotta exit the premises. But what else? What moves are you pulling? Let's do this. I'll finish out and kind of ask on this one. What are you doing today? What are you doing today, tomorrow, this week, as we're sitting here waiting for the next 2 weeks? Like you mentioned, opening some longs, potentially some longs on Pangu. Are you buying things spot in anticipation for the next couple of months? What are you doing today, tomorrow, this week, next week, as we're sort of in this holding pattern, waiting to see, ironically, crypto being drawn by what the Federal Reserve decides, large entity does, large centralized entity? What are you doing to position yourself right now?
I feel pretty comfy right now. My bags are kind of packed, make some small moves, might trade a little bit, but going to be just remain cautiously optimistic leading into the 17th. And I think we do take off then. What I would really like to do is I need to like effectively close out some positions, some things that I've just talked about moving on from and haven't done so. And I get, it's like this double-edged sword where I don't want to sell the bottom. I don't want to sell before a pump, but I haven't had, outside of where I'm at, I haven't had anything, oh, I need in this, or I need to pick up a big bag of this immediately. I felt like we've got to, I agree with you, high level. I think we're just going to chop really leading into the 17th, and then things go as planned. I think we resume. Literally today, I'm probably not going to do much at all. Probably no trades, other than if I might open up a single long here and get on with my day. But today, head down, getting the moving knocked out, getting that completed fully, a little bit of cleaning, and then really for the next 2 weeks, it's going to be. And I hate saying like naming names, but like one is I need to sell a bunch of Zed horses. I've lost interest. I don't play the game. They still race automatically, so I'm stacking some Zed over there. But it's like it's not plus EV when I'm not actively managing that. It's not like it's not like an LP where if I don't actively manage it, I could get burnt. It's not like having an open long and going to bet on. But it is one where those that are actively managing it, they're likely plus EV. I am not. So it's just like, it's one of those spots I'm not willing to double down and invest more time and money into. So I just need to, I need to sell some of those. And this is also like, and not knocking it, it just is what it is. It's kind of the challenge of NFTs is it's just not as easy to liquidate as it is a meme coin. A token of any sort, I take a peek at the chart and just go and swap. Here, it's like, especially something as complex as Zed, they're the stable. There's like some of those tokens might be like literally $2 and others might be $2,000. Like I can't just go and list. I can't just go accept an offer. I need to actually carve out some time to go through that, price things appropriately, and then come back and check on them, on a daily basis for a few weeks until they sell. Like do kind of like the manual Dutch auction approach. I really did enjoy that element of NFT trading. It's just challenging to do unless you're all in. It's challenging to do unless you're really dialed into the specifics. And if it's some game, like, okay, where are the powered up plays, what's more valuable? If it's an NFT PFP collections, okay, what are the desirable traits? What are the rares? What are people seeking out? Like, it's just not as straightforward, and it does take more time to properly exit a position as opposed to just going in and leaving everything out and accepting a bunch of it. So that's really where I'm at. Is I'm looking to start some rotation, and probably between now and the 17th, build up my my dry powder by liquidating some of these positions I've moved on from mentally.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, the thing about the NFT games, it's really fun when there's a ton of action and liquidity, and it's really not fun when there's not. And that's not just as simple as financials. It's also, to your point about playing the market, it's like, it's a much more fun market to place when it's a vibrant marketplace where you're buying, selling, trading, bartering, looking at coins, looking at NFTs, looking at trades, seeing what the values are. Oh my God, this horse does this well. I can sell it for this much. Like, that is a really fun game to play. When that doesn't exist anymore, you're kind of like, all right, well, now I guess I'm just figuring out how I can sell this thing or tax loss harvest or whatever it might be. And it's just simply not as fun. Not simply because of the financial aspect, even if it's down when you're playing the game. I mean, again, for me, part of what's been fun about like the DeFi situation is I have been playing the game. It's a game that you play with liquidity pools and looking for edge and looking for opportunity. And when you're playing longs, you're playing perps. I just think that it is not as fun of a game to play when you have to do all that stuff where you're like, I just spend all this time hoping to find the right buyer, hoping to find the right person, hoping to find the right, exit. And like, to your point, I'm very similar. I need to square up some investments. I need to do some tax loss harvesting because when I moved my ETH for DeFi, I was not paying good attention to the fact that when you're buying like, 0.8 ETH for $600 and you're taking that ETH at one point, you're switching it over now. It's like, 0.8 ETH is a little more than $600 at this point. So you're probably taking a pretty big capital gain there to get to work. So good excuse for me to unload some NFTs. But
and in all seriousness, in addition to unloading some NFTs, we have a few days left. It's football week, buddy. Like, yeah, Ohio State kicked things off with a great win on football Saturday. But for me and my like getting dialed in, it's NFL kicks off Thursday night, and so I've got a few days left to like basically any free time. While I should go and list all these Zed horses, the reality is I'm probably just going to be firing best balls because the clock is ticking. And the downside of best ball, I mean, not totally, but the downside of best ball is after the season starts, there's really no more best ball until they'll do like one like midway point, usually like a underdog will do like a midway point tournament where it's like the second half of the season, but it's just nothing pales in comparison. And it'll do playoffs, which are kind of fun because there's different game theory and strategy comes there. Try to pick like teams on both sides so you have a full lineup in the Super Bowl. But yeah, this got my juices flowing. I gave Billy a shout out earlier when 5-0 on football Saturday. Here's the proof. I did have an L. If anyone wants to go track my Billy wallet, there was an L. It was I bet the Texas Ohio State over. But other than that, it crushed, went 5-0 on its picks. And Florida State, if you're not a football fan, Florida State was a massive underdog. Billy picked him to win. I just trailed him. I was like, all right, cool. And my daughter was going, this will be fun. No expectation of winning. And not only did they win, they won kind of going away, 2-touchdown victory. So Billy,
and they were 2-touchdown underdogs. So that's a 28-point spread swing. I mean, look, I took them on the number. Because I'm not a believer in Alabama, but I wasn't taking them straight up. I'm like, all right, 2 touchdowns. I think they can keep it closer. Bigger believer in what they're building at Florida State right now, and I think that Bama's in a tough transition point. One thing I do love, mostly because it worked for us, is I love these opening matchups now that we have the playoff. I said this when going into the playoff that while I wasn't a fan of 12 teams, I think 8's plenty. The matchups that you get in weeks like this, where we now had, like, I think there was like 4 top 10 teams or 5 top 10 teams that lost this week. Awesome. You love that. So similar to you, gearing up for football season. NFL starts Thursday. Got to get a few more drafts in. And then, college football all year. You're going to be hearing it. Buckeyes, baby.
And then I did have 2 more thoughts. One was, sorry, I was trying to pull something else. This is actually a great take by Raheem here. I wanted to share this, and I'll go back to the other thought. Hyperliquid is saving the crypto industry, and it's not the way everyone thinks. We all know the Kanye West token was going to be a dump and scam. Hyperliquid listing it prevented extraction. This is massive, in my opinion. Made it such an obvious short, but most importantly, help people make money in our CT space rather than let it get extracted into the hands of the malicious people. I'm feeling these big celebrity vaporware tokens or ecosystem ones that are extracted, if they get listed on Hyperliquid, end up preserving capital, even though it's not designed to do that. When they're obvious shorts, no one talks about this, but I think it's massive, and it helps the trenches and NFTs and all the degen stuff alive. I agree. I made money on 2 easy coin shorts, and probably could have I didn't even checked it since. I closed it and moved on, forgot about it, but I agree there. It kind of helps balance the scales a little bit. And they won't do every celeb coin on day 1 or 2 like that, but I do think that's probably an underrated part of Hyperliquid and then being quick to market with perps, so it balances the extractors. The other one I wanted to show. Any thoughts on that? And I'll pull up this other one.
No, I mean it is. I think it's a great take by Raheem. Not surprising, smart guy, and just generally like the Hyperliquid and Hyper EVM ecosystems.
Speaking of extractors, since we were on that topic, while I'm pulling up this other tweet, I will. It looks like Zach just outed a couple hundred crypto influencers, their wallet addresses from a project they were recently contacted to promote. 160 accounts who accepted the deal. Only saw 5 accounts actually disclose the promotional post as advertisement. That's pretty wild. 160 people accepted money to promote a token. 5 of the 160 disclosed it. It's just like, why? Like
What was it? What was the token?
I don't know if it says.
And I don't even know if I know all these accounts. Which is also interesting to show how like out of the loop I am with this sort of stuff. But
OKX maybe, I don't know. That the Dia was the one that's LARPing as it's a man, LARPing as a woman. But yeah, I didn't see the specific. What I was trying to pull up though was Sassel here had a. This is a good one. Wasn't the one I was looking for, but back to our favorite. I'll show my favorite website here in a second. In August, in the month of August, ETH ETFs, 860,000 ETH treasury companies, 1.7 million ETH, newly net issued ETH in August, 76,000. Marie, that again. New ETH issued in August, 76,000. Over 10x that was bought by ETH ETF companies. Over 20x that was bought by, or I'm sorry, ETH ETFs. Over 20x that was bought by the treasury companies. It's just like combined 33 times more ETH than was issued in the month of August. Just not total, just from the institutions. Like, it's insane, man. Like, how does number not go up when we're looking at this?
Yeah, it's a numbers game. One more thing to throw on before we do this, based on the Zach XBT
now
thing.
Nearly 50 billion combined between the strategic reserve companies. Bitmine's quietly up to almost 8 billion now, and then the ETFs 30 billion. Like $50 billion of ETH that's presumably not going to sell every little tiny dip and CT capitulates or freaks out on some news.
Yeah, no, numbers game. Real quick on the Zach XBT thing though that you just put up, which I think is worth saying. I don't know which token it is. I did actually see a few familiar names on there when I looked closer. What I don't understand is, like I'll give you an example. Cap and I both posted about Story Protocol last week. We both said in the comments, look, like they reached out to us and they actually the pretty good ask, like give some genuine thoughts. If you want to do this thing and if you feel good about it, you can handle it. If not, that's cool. You can turn it down. All good, whatever it is. Like, just, I don't know. Like, there's a quick little, hey, we're partnering here. I don't know. I think a lot of people are, they're just not as, like, it's like, just put the tweet out and like that many people and having 5 disclosures is just wacky to me. 5 is crazy to me. It's like simple as like partnering, working with, like, it's just when you put it out, just put a second tweet in that says that, like, Easy does it, I do it. Like, it happens when people do that. Like, it's like, and these usually aren't like major big partnerships or anything like that. A lot of times they're like, hey, we're working on something. Do you want to work with us? Sure. And then it's, do you want to look at our, look at this and give some honest thoughts and don't do anything disingenuous to your brand.
Why don't they? What's the problem? Why not? Like, glad to be partnering with. Grateful to partner. Like, why not? What's the downside?
I don't know. It's a bizarre thing to me. It is strange that the people don't do it. I see it and it's like, I looked at your tweet, I looked at my tweet. It's like, it's a quick, hey, thanks for partnering with us. Period. That's it. Like, it's that simple. And then it's like, okay, people know, paid post. That said, I just got the flashlight. I gotta go off the stage. I'm getting called. So I got the hook. I'll leave you to it. If you
Well,
want
let's do this because it is a we'll have to reschedule with our guests. Not sure what happened there, but I will we'll run back an ApeChain Architects. We might do it another day, or we might add a day this week. We'll check with them on their schedule. Excited to share building some cool stuff over there on ApeChain. But let's I too have a very busy day, and you being responsible and checking out before you get booted is I can use that as inspiration to also check out myself here and actually start getting the work done I need to get done today. I pinned that. If anyone wants to see that Zach XBT post we were referencing, I did pin that up top. Also gonna go ahead and pin Raheem's just because I dig it. But yeah, let's do a 90 minutes on a holiday. We should enjoy your Labor Days of not working if you're in the US. Steve and I we're gonna work today, but it's gonna be an abridged version. So yeah, let's wrap it today. We'll be back tomorrow with a full show, and we'll get our guests rescheduled for another day.
Yeah, thanks everyone who came out today. I am going to mosey on back to society. Had a great day on the lake. Had a great day kayaking, fishing, hiking, grilling, doing all the things with all the friends. We will talk to everybody bright and early. Oh, I shot some bow and arrows, by the way, too. That was fun. Talk to everybody bright and early tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.